Good morning. Today is Thursday, the 21st of March, 2013. Here's the news it's worth talking about in Panama today. Once again, dominating the news today is the fire at the Cerro Patacon garbage dump in Panama City. You might notice on the website, I called and did an interview with my dad last night, who's a retired fire chief, and he knows all about this stuff. I picked up on the thing about the toxicity of the smoke, and is it toxic or not, and if it is toxic, how much, how toxic is it, and what's the best way to put out this kind of a fire. So anyway, you can check that video out, but it's still burning. Let me see, this thing started at Tuesday afternoon, so by this afternoon it'll be 48 hours. They're bringing in truckloads of dirt and sand, and that's what they're doing, is just trying to bury it and put it out by smothering it. They've got 100, or I don't know what the number is. I think it's probably 25 or 26 dump trucks with all kinds of different pieces of equipment and bulldozers and backhoes and bucket loaders and all that kind of stuff that they need to move the dirt around. But it's going to take them some time to put this thing out. Now, on the issue of the toxicity of the smoke, technically speaking, all smoke, it has a degree of toxicity in it. You could play all day with the actual chemical composition of the different various kinds of smoke that's coming off of this thing. The most interesting thing that came out of the conversation with my dad yesterday is that actually a cooler fire where the materials are not fully consumed puts out more toxic smoke. You'd be better off just letting it burn with a nice hot black fire, and then you get a thermal column and it takes the smoke literally up over the city. But when you're trying to put it out, you get the cooler white smoke that spreads out all over the city like a blanket, and that's full of a lot more stuff. So it's bad in a couple of ways. But the director of health, the minister of health, came out yesterday and said the toxicity of the smoke is tolerable. All right, well, now they're kind of mixing words a little bit here. They don't want to come out and say it's poison and it will kill you. What they are saying is that no one is going to die because of this smoke. Well, it depends on if you're highly susceptible, or it could trigger asthma attack. It could, if someone has their system that's already compromised, then they can have some problems with it. So anyway, nothing you can do about it anyway. They've already decided to fight the fire and put it out as soon as possible, so they'll get that done as soon as they can. As a result of the fire, there are several schools that are the closest to the scene of the fire, which were closed yesterday, and they're closed again today. And I suspect they will remain closed until the fire is put out and the smoke stops. Another issue that could turn out to be a real problem here is that they are now trucking the garbage up to La Chorrera, and they're dumping it there. The problem with that is that you've got to drive it all the way up to La Chorrera. It takes a lot longer. It's farther away. It's more expensive, and there's a limited capacity there. The Enrique Ho, the guy who's in charge of the cleanliness garbage collection system here in Panama City, he's concerned that the garbage collection system in Panama City could collapse. And those are his words. In other words, that they might not be able to basically empty the trucks fast enough to make another round and pick up more stuff. They don't have a lot of overcapacity built in, and they don't have any place else to dump the garbage. Their only option is to haul it up to La Chorrera, and with all of the things that are built in there, with traffic problems and everything else, it makes it a much harder job to do. So let's see how that goes. Don't be surprised if your garbage starts stacking up a little bit here. Okay, that's enough of the garbage dump fire that's going on. Moving on, in the Panama America, let me see, this is over tomorrow on the 22nd of March. The Ministry of Labor will be having one of these job fairs in La Chorrera. They have 725 jobs that they're trying to fill of all different flavors. Every time they do one of these job fairs, they stopped doing them in Panama City because they would go to like San Miguelito and Parque Lefebvre, and they would try to get people to come out to fill these positions they've got available. I think they've pretty much wrung that, they've pretty much wrung that towel out. So now they're going to La Chorrera, and they're hoping to fill. And there's 19 companies are participating, and just 19 companies, among them, they have 725 positions that they're trying to fill, that they're hoping to get applicants for. So it's a different kind of job market in Panama. They got more jobs than they got people, and that's just the way it is. Okay, let me see. Yesterday they busted 3 people, 2 of them men, 1 woman. Yesterday, Brisas del Golf. They had 2 kilos of cocaine with them, and $30,000, and a black Dodge, and it was actually $32,800. And this was the result of an intelligence operation by the DEEP and the DIJ and the anti-drug prosecutor and all the guys who bust drugs. So they were, following a network or a gang, and they took these guys down. So drug trafficking and anti-drug operations continue. Now, okay, here's a guy, the cousin of President Ricardo Martinelli. His name is Ramon Martinelli Corro. He was busted back in like 2009. This was like one of the very first scandals that hit the Martinelli administration. He was arrested in Mexico and charged with laundering money for the Beltran Leyva organization. It's a Mexican drug trafficking organization. He spent 3 years in custody, and he is now back in Panama. He says, of course, it was a setup, and they could never prove anything against him, and his arrest and his detention was illegal, and blah, 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 blah. He also says that he has no connection with his cousin, Ricardo Martinelli, the president. He doesn't work for the government. He has no political aspirations. He did participate in the campaign last time. But I don't know. I kind of question why this guy goes on the news, whatever. He's back in Panama. He's been released. He's no longer in jail in Mexico. There you go. There's a headline for you. Okay. The minister of the presidency, Roberto Enriquez, was on the news today talking about the transportation system. Now, the whole Metro bus Diablo Rojo thing is still the big, there's 2 big stories this week. The dump fire and the Metro buses, okay? He's now saying that the overall system is 40% complete. Now, when he says overall system, he's talking about the Metro subway system, he's talking about the Metro bus system, and the projects that they're building to reorganize the road network in Panama City. And this was one of their biggest parts of their plan when they took over the government, was to fix, basically, the traffic in Panama City. So, point being, you can have all the Metro buses running around that, according to the plan, they're all supposed to be there, and you're supposed to have enough of them to move them and stuff. However, because of the work on the Metro subway system and all the traffic jams that are caused because of that, and because of the work on the reorientation of the roadway network and the traffic jams that are caused because of that, the Metro buses are not moving through the system with the speed and the fluidity that they're supposed to have. So what they're arguing is, when it's all done and the Metro system is done, and that's supposed to be done by the end of this year, by the end of 2013, and all the bridges are built, and all of this road construction starts to go away, and traffic starts to flow, and they're saying now you're going to get this relief. You're going to get, less people riding on buses because there will be a lot of people using the Metro system, and the buses will be going through the system faster because you won't have these traffic jams caused by all the construction. They're also talking about the construction of the bus stops, and Roberto Enriquez didn't, he threw a couple of bricks at his predecessor, Jimmy Papadimitriou, saying that they had a plan to have all the bus stops built by 2012, but they didn't have that done by the time that he left office. So they're going to continue working on that. Basically what they're saying is, we're still working on it, we're not done yet, and they're still asking for patience. And basically all of that makes sense. Okay, last thing. In Bocas del Toro, now they're calling it a zorra. A zorra is a fox, supposed to be. You know, if you translate the word zorra, it's supposed to be a fox. But I've seen Panamanians use zorra for skunks, for coatimundis, for any little brown furry animal, pretty much. Okay. There was a power outage in Bocas del Toro, and this was in the Changuinola substation. Now, apparently this little brown furry animal tried to get under some cables and got fried. When he got fried, shorted out the whole thing, knocked out power to 12,000 people. Bad day for the Zorra. Anyway, it took them, I don't know how many hours, call it 12 hours or so, to get power back up and running. Fried some cables, fried some batteries. It was just a bad thing. But anyway, that's what happened, in case you were wondering, if you happen to be up that way. And your lights should be back on by now. All right, that's it. That's all I got. As usual, thanks for watching, and have a great day. Bye.